Hi everyone and welcome to C++ lecture 8 with Junior once again. Alright guys, in today's lecture, which is lecture 8, we are emphasizing a control structure for loop. Alright, on our previous lecture we emphasized the while loop and the do while loop on repetition structures. Alright, so today we are emphasizing a control structure, a repetition, which is the for loop. Right, remember the repetition structure, that the looping structures that allows you to do repetitions while a condition is true. Alright, here are the tips. As I've always created Notepad, and then I promise you guys that I'll always create Notepad to have a little of notes just for you guys, so that you can copy the notes down, and then as much as we continue, then you can refer to the notes and then the little things that I've include here. Alright, here are the tips guys. Alright, the for loop structure, it groups initialization, condition, increment or decrement in one part. Alright, maybe you guys don't understand, but you'll understand. The for loop structure groups initialization, condition and increment or decrement. So it groups three things in one part. All right, then here below, okay, oh my god, that is supposed to be, that is, you'll have the syntax will be for, and then you'll open the bracket, then you'll have your declaration with initialization as the first thing. All right, then the second thing is the condition, and then the third is increment or decrement depending on your logic, what you are required to do. You can have the increment. Remember, I emphasize the idea of the increment and the idea of the decrement here, which is the third part. Just and now I'm just explaining the for loop. This thing, for loop, we know it has many things, but these are the basic ones that one need to, whenever you are thinking of a for loop, you need to, like, they have to come to your mind. Right, so now the program execution loops or repeat for the condition, for if the condition is met, for the condition is true. Right, if the condition is true or is met. When I say condition, I simply mean the second part. If this on the second part is met, if it's true, you then repeat. Right, otherwise you skip the for loop. Simple as that. It then means you'll only repeat. The repetition that we are emphasizing inside the for loop is only allowed when given that this condition is true. It then means if this condition is not true, it then means you do what? You stop the repetition. That's where you stop the repetition. The exit point will be determined by the for loop. Alright, and then now structuring of a for loop guys. Here we go. I said for, and then I have int I is initialized to 0. Alright, don't worry about this a. I wrote this a here. I wrote a to mark the first part, and then b to mark the second part, and then now c to mark the third part, d to mark the fourth part, and e to mark the fifth part. And then I'm going to explain to you guys now. So the first part, remember I said initial declaration, initialization. The second part is the condition. Here I create my own condition. I say I should be less than 10. So this is my condition. And then now and then now I have C, and then which is just the statement inside the for loop. And then after that statement, then we have what? Our third part, which is the, now here is the what? Is the increment. I chose the increment. Remember I said it can be increment or the decrement. So I chose it to be increment, which is D, and then otherwise we're having E outside the for loop. Right, simple as that. Remember this condition here, I said I chose I to be less than 10. Alright, so it then means I will repeat till where I now is 10. That's when I'm going to stop. Alright, on the for loop. Okay, algorithm. Let me just explain here. We start at A. Here is A, meaning we start with the declaration, initialization, declaration and initialization. Then what follows? Then check the condition at B. B is what? The condition. So it then means, because here I initialize I to 0. It then means I will have to check that I towards 10. That I know is what is going to be 0 here, because I initialize it to 0. So the condition is going to read as, is 0 less than 10? That's what we have here, because we have what is I less than 10. Is it true? Is it true that 0 is less than 10? That's how you're going to analyze your condition. So we know that 0 is going to be less than 10. Then you'll come to C and do what? The repetition. Let's see. If the condition is true, we go to C. Yes, here we check that 0. We agree that 0 is less than 10. Then we go to C. Where is C? Right here. Then we run the statement within the for loop. Alright. After going to C, we know C says we run the statement within the for loop. Maybe your statement might be, maybe you are displaying something, maybe you are calculating, you are doing the addition, arithmetic, yeah, those rational operators. And then yeah, those are a bunch of statements. They will always come between the two parentheses. They can be many, but then as long as the condition is met, if it is true, you're going to those statements. That's why I said statement or statements here, guys. All right. Then now, after executing C, then back to D. Where is D? Here. Now what's happening at D, guys? You guys got it. I know. All right, at D we're changing the value of I. That means this is I plus equals to, this is I is equals to I plus 1. We're increasing I by 1. So it then means you're having a new value of I. And then now after that, at D the value of I is changing. We agree at D, and then which is okay, that is I is assigned to I plus 1. Simple as that. That's what is happening at D. But then now in C++ we write it like this. We cannot write this thing, is long, it's not economically wise. Oh my, right? So a program with a long sentence, instead we just write like this. Okay, then now after that, then go again at B. What is happening at B? Remember, then after D we go again at B. It then means you're going to check the condition again with a new value of I. Remember, our I now is changed. 0 plus 1 is what? Is 1. So we know that I is 1. Is 1 less than 10? Yes, it's true. Then we said yes, it's true. And then remember, then go again at B to check the condition and do the same if it's true. Then we know that it was true. It is true that 1 is less than 10. Then we do the same. When I say we do the same, meaning we do the repetition. We go to C and then we repeat, and then we will go to D and then change I, and then we will come again to B, and then if it's true, we do the repetition. So you see how the repetition continues. It's like it starts with the condition. If it's met, we come here, and then after doing the statements, and then we come to D, and then we go to, you see, as much as we repeat, somewhere I will get to 10. As much as we're increasing it, I will get to 10, and then when we have I as 10, and then the condition is going to say, is 10 less than 10? Then we know it's going to be false. 10 is not less than 10. Then that's where we stop. That's our exit point. And then when we stop, I simply means we stop the for loop. We don't stop the program. Actually, we stop running the statement of the for loop. And then we will come here at E. Because if it's false, we don't enter the parenthesis. We don't enter here. We come to E. Alright? Which is on algorithm 2. Should the condition at B be false, we go outside the for loop at E. We come here. That is, we stop repeating or looping. Alright, that means we are done with the for loop. Okay, so as much as I've explained, guys, and then here are the notes, you can read them for yourself bit by bit. Maybe this is not the best way, but I assume this is one of the good way of explaining a for loop to a beginner. Alright, so now, as always, I always encourage that after each explanation we go and see how in coding now it will look like, right? So same problem as for the while loop and the do while on the previous lecture. So because these are the repetition structure, then they can be used to run to solve the same problem, since are all repetition structures. Remember, all right? So example, okay, that's the same thing. Write a program which displays integers less than 10. Alright, make use of a for loop to achieve this. Okay, I've solved my problems with the code block, and then now I think my code block now is working, so we're going to use the code block. All right, Vision 13.12. okay, voila, there we go. And then now remember how we create a project in code block. We go to new and then empty file, and then after creating it, and then we go to say file as, and then now we have to specify the file name. Now remember, now we're using code block. It's not like Qt Creator where you just write, and then here what we have to do, the name of a project, now we can give it a for loop. I can say for loop, but then now because this is because now this is code block, we then have to specify the file format, say .c++ cpp. all right guys, okay, let me verify the location. Okay, all right, okay, the location, let me choose the location. all right, this is the location. all right, good. So now I've created my my project. I'll just quickly include, and then input output streams, input output stream, input output stream, and then using namespace standard. Oh my god, using namespace standard. all right, then now we go all right, okay, let me just write return 0 bottom there, return, then I return 0, then I go up here. all right guys, okay, this is now how it's going to be. So the question says write a program which displays integer less than 10. We know our condition, we have to display the integers less than 10. all right, so our for loop, the exit point is going to be what, 10. all right, so we go back here. Now we're going to say, simply gonna say for, this is the first part, int, let's give it I again, and let's initialize it to 0, then you terminate, and then now the condition. Now what is the condition? I must be what? I has to be less than 10. all right guys, I has to be less than 10, and then we, as much as we started at I being 0, then now let's increase the I towards that 10, I plus plus. all right, so now what is the statement to run? The statement is what? Is to display cout. We're displaying what? Integers less than 10, right? Integers less than 10. And then our integer here, what is known as integer on our program, is what? Is I. It then means we're displaying what? I. We're displaying I. Let's display it on each on its new line, right? all right, okay, this is what this is all that is needed guys from us. all right, so now let's come here and just save a statement here for E. Remember on our explanation when I was explaining that if the condition is not true, we have to go to statement E. Now I'm creating a statement E here. The loop has finished. The loop has finished. The loop has finished. This is the statement that is going to come out on E. This is the statement for E. Remember, this is A, the declaration and initialization, and then this is the condition, which is P, and then now this is C, where we display cout, and then we display I, and then we end the new line, and then we go to D, and then increase, and then check the condition again. all right, so now let me just quickly, I've saved, and then let me just build it and see if there are errors. If there are errors, it's going to appear here. Okay, 0 error, and then it took 2 seconds. Then now let me build it. You see, these are all integers less than 10. You see, 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. all right, the loop is finished. This is the statement. The loop is finished. So all right guys, I've emphasized the for loop for you guys. You can go to the notes, and then now you'll get the idea. So I'm glad you guys still sticking around, and then stick around for more and great things, as much as now we are covering and then coming to conclusion of the control structure, all control structures. Now we'll be looking in depth of many functionalities of C++, and then I suppose that was for it for today. All right, cheers guys, it's me Junior, bye bye.